Ever since I started making credit card videos on YouTube, the questions I get asked more than any other: which credit cards do you actually use? What is your credit limit on this card or that card? And what's your credit score? Well, today I'm sharing it all, and I'm doing it live. I'm going to show you my credit reports, my balances, all the credit cards that I have open, which cards I actually use, my credit limits for each, and exactly how I managed to rack up $269,900 of available credit on my credit cards. If you want to be in the know, be sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And while you're at it, give that like button a gentle tap for the YouTube algorithm. It's really the only way I know you guys are paying attention. Hey there, Dave here. We can also talk a little about how credit scores work, really whatever you guys want to talk about, whatever you're interested in, this channel is for you. So use the live chat to get your questions in. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment. I'll try to answer as many as I possibly can at the end, even if it means breaking this video up into 2 parts for the replay, because I know that the attention spans here on YouTube are getting shorter and shorter. But if I can get 1,000 likes during the live stream, I guarantee you that I will do another live stream next week. So if you are new here, my name is Dave Hansen. Credit cards are a nerdy hobby of mine. I've been finding ways to maximize credit card rewards for as long as I can remember, long before I started making videos about it on YouTube. So let's get right into it. I want to pull up my credit scores, and I'm going to be using Credit Karma today. So there's 2 different scores at the top. The TransUnion score is 788. The Equifax is 801. And my scores have actually dropped in the last little bit, and we'll talk about why, but we're gonna just dive right in, and we'll just go left to right here, and we can you'll see that both of the credit bureaus basically have the exact same information. But you can see here this nice graph of how my credit has taken a nosedive over the last 3 months. You wonder why? Well, I've been on vacation. I've been spending a lot of money, and when you do things like that, and I pay my credit cards off in full every time. But when you spend a lot of money during the month, and then at the end you get reset to 0, but you've already started spending for the next time, that's the reason that is happening. But let's look at the 1 year. You can see that I was pretty consistent there, above 817 in the margin there, and to drop down to 788 currently, and it looks like 783 was. Looks like these are both 788 down here, but just in the scale, went from 830 to 826 back in April, down to 788 as of July 26th. And it says up here at the top that the next check will be tomorrow. So let's see what changed. I'm curious. This is exactly what I do when I don't have thousands of people watching me do this. So let's just see. We found no changes in your report, expecting a change that you don't see. Let's go a little further. July 20th, I was down 6 points because of these changes. My Bank of America balance increased by $2,200, and my Goldman Sachs, that's my Apple Card, increased by $30. I don't really know that I bought anything from Apple, but I have so many just charges automatically going through that would explain that. And then it looks like no changes July 13th. July 12th, I went up 6 points because my JP Morgan CB card balance decreased. I must have, I have everything set to auto pay, so looks like my balance decreased by $2,200, and my Citibank decreased by $127. Why? I don't even remember using my Citibank card, but that probably is my Citibank double cash card, which I don't use, but I try to keep active because it's one of my older cards in my credit history. So be looking at that. And this JP Morgan card, that has to be my Amazon card. And so the balance decreased. That's because I paid off my credit card, which I highly recommend. Not a financial advisor, but if there's one thing that you need to think about when it comes to credit cards, it's don't use them like credit cards. Use them like you would an ATM card, a cash card, where you only spend money that you have and you pay it off in full every month. What just happened? Okay, here we go. Down 1 point on June 10th with 8 changes. Balance is increasing and decreasing. And this is pretty much what happens in my credit report. It just bounces back based on the timing of when one card is paid off and the next one is not. And I generally do not carry any balance, but the way it gets reported to the credit bureaus, you know, if you pay it off in full, but you've already spent money in the next period, you basically look like you have a balance, when in fact it just basically is a rolling balance because you're paying it off each time. Okay, so that is basically a look at what has changed in my credit report. Let's get down here to the credit factors, the things that make up a credit score. My payment history is 100%, and these top three are noted as high impact for Vantage score. They basically have high, medium, and low impact type things. In FICO scores, they actually have a weighted percentage. It's something like, you know, payment history is considered high impact in the Vantage score, and it's considered like 35% of the score for FICO. Am I too nerdy for you guys? I hope not. Smash that like button if you don't think I'm too nerdy. But don't smash the dislike button. Okay, anyway. If we click on payment history here, you have a stellar payment history. 100 payment, on-time payments, 405. It's a good sign to lenders that they can make reliable. Yeah, okay, so anyway, that's my TransUnion, and if I toggle over here to Equifax, it's also 100%. Credit card utilization, also high impact, and this is where my high available credit comes in handy, because even though I might have an actually large number in any given moment, I might have $30,000 of outstanding charges, having $200,000 of available credit means you're using a very low percentage. So I'm using 7% of my $269,900. You can see there on the screen, and that means I currently have a balance of $19,594 according to TransUnion, and Equifax $19,594. Funny, they have the exact same information. I wonder how that works. But this breaks it down a little bit further by credit card. It shows you which cards I'm actually using. And this is, if you watch my videos, you already know which credit cards I use. That makes it way easier to read. I just put it up on the bigger screen. So Bank of America are the top two balances, and I'm guessing, just looking at the limit for each is $26,000. So it's hard to tell the difference between these two. But I think that the top one is my everything else card, and the second one is my dining card. So the second one is the cash rewards card, which I get 6.25% cash back on all purchases at restaurants, and that's the category I use it in. That's the only place that I use it. And then the other card is the City Premier Preferred Rewards with the honors bonus, whatever. I can never remember what that's called, but that's what that card is. And currently there's a $14,000 balance as of 6/29, and the other one is $4,263. And I'm using 56% of my credit, which would be really a warning sign if I didn't have a bunch of other credit cards that I wasn't using, and 16% of the everything else card. And then I'm using 2% of my Apple card, which has a $30,000 limit. I currently have a $729 balance. And if we expand out here, you can see the rest. JPMCB, that is the Amazon Prime card that you get 5% cash back on everything you buy from Amazon. I'm using 1% of my $20,000 balance there. And then a bunch of these others, there's an Amex card. That Amex shows a $34,400 available credit. So that would be the one that used to be the Starwood Preferred Guest Purple card from Amex, and now it's the Bonvoy. I think they just call it the Bonvoy Amex card. You can't get that card anymore, and it's a $95 annual fee. I continue to pay that because the annual fee covers, basically, you get a free hotel night at Bonvoy Marriott chain of hotels, and so that's worth it to me. And also, you'll see when we get down to the credit history that I've had that card for a long time. We have the Barclays, that's the old Uber Visa card. So I had a $25,000 limit there. I'm not using that at all. I'm not using that Amex Bonvoy card either. 0% is used there, and I haven't used that in a while. I continue to have it because why not, right? We have the next one is the Citibank. That's a $30,000 limit. And there's two Citibank cards. One is the 3. If you scroll down, you can't quite see them all on screen. There you go. So the Citi with the $30,000 limit is, it's either my Citi Double Cash card or my Citi Mile Up Advantage American Airlines card. I downgraded the paid $450 card down to the free card just to keep it in my credit history. And those are, one is $37,000. I think that's the American Airlines card because I was using that extensively when I was collecting American Advantage points. And so I had a pretty high limit there. And then the other was my everything else card, my Citi Double Cash card for the longest time. That's the $30,000 balance. And then the third Citibank card only has a $4,500 balance. That is a card that I've also had in my credit history forever. That was a business card that I got, gosh, a long, long time ago for a business that doesn't even exist anymore. And it was the Citi Professional card. So if you ever see me like with the big stack of credit cards in my videos, it's one of the ones that's in there. And then that JPMCB, that's the one with the $20,000 balance has to be my or the $20,000 available credit has to be my Amazon card, and then the other with $37,000 is some other card that I downgraded. It was another card that I've just had for a long time and no longer use. I think it's also a Bonvoy. So that's it. Those are all of my cards. The ones that I actually use are at the top, and it's exactly what I've told you guys in the past. We go to that's TransUnion. If we switch over to Equifax, pretty much going to see the same thing, but look at this. They label the Apple Card, which is nice, and they're showing that I'm using 2% there. Let's see if they've labeled anything else that makes it easier to read. Nope, it's all pretty much exactly the same. So that's a quick rundown of all of the credit cards by utilization. Derogatory marks, 0. This shows that I have 0 collections and 0 public records, TransUnion and Equifax. You don't want to have a derogatory mark on your credit. I don't even know what that is. Like if a payment history would be missed payment, derogatory marks is like if something went to collections or something. If you look at the color coding here on these credit factors, everything has been green so far. Those are all, I'm doing good. The things that I'm not doing quite as good are the age of credit history, which is a medium impact in this score, and hard inquiries, which is low impact in this score. The age of credit history, 5 years and 10 months, I could get that a little bit higher by closing some of my accounts, but I just haven't done it because it's medium impact and credit card utilization is worth more. But if we just look at this age of credit, you'll see that I've had 2 of those Citi cards, one for 15 years, another for 14 years, one of those American Express cards for 12 years. So those are my cards to keep my average age of credit high. I just can't get rid of those cards ever. And I think only the Amex has the $95 annual fee. Then the JP Morgan card, I believe that's the Bonvoy card because it's older. Then another Citi, then Barclays, which is the Uber card. That's one that I should just probably cancel because I'm definitely not using it and it doesn't really have any advantage to me, but it's no annual fee. I just haven't bothered. You guys let me know in the chat if you guys think I should close my Uber card. Let's see, we've got GS Bank, 1 year, 11 months. That's when I got my Apple Card, and then I am basically using the cards that I mainly use are the ones that I got most recently, which are those 2 Bank of America cards. I got them 1 year and 8 months ago and 1 year and 6 months ago. And then the Amex, that's my Platinum card, which for the longest time I refused to pay that annual fee. But you guys saw me do the math on why it made sense to me. It doesn't make sense for everybody, but if you are going to get enough credit from stuff that you would buy anyway, or you're going to get those things at a lower price, it makes sense. And that's my scenario. it makes sense for me, but it definitely doesn't make sense for everybody. I'm sure Equifax has similar or the exact same information here, the exact same cards. So that is my age of credit history. I hope this is interesting to you guys. Everybody asked for it. And we have a lot of people logged in, you know, saying I should close the Uber card, pointless to have it. Other people saying, no, don't close out, or no annual fee card. So it's a real debate. And I haven't done anything because the easy choice is to not do anything, but that would be the first one I close because it is newer than my average age of credit, so it would actually bring my average up. It does have a fairly high available credit, but I just got the and it's not being reported yet, but I just got the Bitcoin card from Blockify, and I actually have been using that for the 3.5% Bitcoin back that they're doing as part of the initial 3 months. When you have that card, you get 3.5% back on everything, which is, I think, a great deal. By the way, if you want that card, my affiliate link to get on the list, the waiting list. Basically, I had 300,000 people in front of me, but because of you guys using my link, it helped push me up the list, and I already got the card, and it's a cool card. You saw me open it. I dropped it. I did all the things. That was a fake card that they sent me to be able to open. I got the real card, and I have been using it, and I haven't yet put my sticker over the numbers, or I would pull it out right now. But I didn't come prepared. My wallet's downstairs. All right, let's see now what else we're looking at. Well, we're looking at all sorts of things here. Credit Karma. Let's go back into TransUnion. Talked about age. Now, and so that is medium impact, and basically if I closed any of those accounts that are newer than 5 years, 10 months, that I could get that number up, but like I said, it would increase my credit card utilization, which would be a negative, right? We look at my total accounts. This, again, is basically going to be a rehash of the same information. These are all of my open accounts to Bank of America, Apple Card, Amex, JP Morgan, Amex, Barclays, Citi, JP, Citi. Then I think they show some closed accounts. And so I no longer have an auto payment. That was my JP, basically I had a Chase lease on my vehicle. I no longer have a mortgage. I closed, let's see, all my closed accounts. Not even that many. But it looks like I paid off one of my mortgages April 24th, 2013. And then another one that was opened on August 24th. And that one is now closed. I think that's the one that I think that's my current house. Where does it say? No, that was opened 9 years ago. So that would not be this house. It would be this. This is the one that I paid off. So this is my current house, and it is closed and paid because I don't have a mortgage anymore. And people will say that that's crazy because you get to have the tax deduction instead of not having the tax deduction. Why did I close out my mortgage? Well, I did it for a simple reason. I had an interest-only loan on $1 million that gave me more money to use in the stock market, but I found that I was not fully invested, and I had cash on the side, and basically I had enough cash on the side that I could just pay off my mortgage and get the automatic. I was not at today's super low rates. I didn't refinance or anything, and so basically I decided that it would be better for me if I paid off the mortgage and didn't have to make that interest payment, and the money that I'm saving in taxes is not nearly as much as the money I would be paying in mortgage interest. So that is why I did that. What other total accounts do I have here? See, all closed accounts. I don't actually look at this as frequently as I I might. Okay, so I had a Citi account that I opened in 1999 that was closed. That I should have never closed the account because I would have had a 22-year-old credit card with a perfect payment history from 2009 to 2013, it looks like. I could have just kept, and it had a $53,000 credit limit. If I could have kept that open, and it may be that this is a card that I didn't have a choice. It was a lost card, or I had to transfer into a different program. This might have been when I switched out of the Thank You Points program, which I got devalued and was very mad at Citibank. And I don't remember. It was a long time ago, back in, when did I close this? 2013? I don't remember what I was thinking in 2013, but it probably has something to do with the devaluation of the Thank You Points, which are now valued again at a penny a point, depending on which cards you have. That's why I don't like points. You never know what points are going to be worth. One day they're worth a penny a point. One day they're worth 1.25 cents per point on Schwab. But then in September, they're only worth 1.1 cents. Points are just, when you collect points instead of cash, even when you're collecting points to then redeem for cash, you got to be careful. You got to watch it, and you got to really be mindful of the fact that they have the ability to change the valuation at any time, which is actually why I kind of like that Blockify card, because their points are going straight into Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin, you can't think of a more volatile thing than Bitcoin other than what banks decide their points are worth. That might be slightly more volatile than Bitcoin. Not really, but I think I would bet on Bitcoin's price going up more than a bank deciding to increase the value of their points. Right? Wouldn't you? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let's see what we've got here. So that's all of my accounts. Let's go now to hard inquiries, low impact, and do they show both bureaus? So let's see all inquiries. I had 3 different inquiries from Bank of America to get 2 credit cards, and they apologized. They screwed up. They didn't mean to do that, but if you notice, I had one back November 4th of 2019. That makes sense. I don't remember which card that was, but then these 2, January 20th and January 21st. Yeah. So that's when I got the cash card, then I got the premium rewards card. So I got the cash card, applied for it November 4th, and then I tried to apply for the other card, the premium rewards card, on January 20th, but something happened and they ran my credit twice. So now I have 4 hard inquiries when I could have only had 3. Not showing up here on here yet is my Blockify, which I just got. View full credit report. I thought that's what I was looking at. All right, please wait. Loading your info. Oh, are they going to? Yeah, they're going to show my address and stuff like that. We're not going to do that. No. I should probably preview this before we go live to YouTube. But anyway, there you go. That's all TransUnion. If I switch over to Equifax, I'm guessing. Oh, Equifax shows 0 hard inquiries. That's interesting. And they're showing 20 total accounts, which the other was showing 17. So let's just see if we, at a glance, can see accounts that we didn't recognize before. Maybe they have more. Oh, they have more closed accounts. That's what it is. So they show my mortgages closed. That was the one I opened in 2013 for this house. And let's see. My Target card. I did have a Target card for a while, which if you shop at a store like Target or any of those that have their own store cards that are 5% cash back, basically you can get 5% cash back on just about everything you buy, because you can buy just about everything in the world at Amazon and Target, right? That sounds like a YouTube short or a TikTok in the making. You guys like watching short form content? It's fun to make. This keeps going to sleep, but you can at least tell that I'm looking at it in real time. Okay, so yes, I had a Target card, and then there's JP Morgan. Oh, and then I also had a Sam's Club card. That was a synchronicity. How do you guys say that? Syncrosity? Synchron? I don't know. So yes, I did have Sam's Club card that I opened in 2001. I had a Banana Republic card that I opened in 2003 because, I was buying some Banana Republic clothes and they talked me into it there at the checkout stand. And then home lending, another mortgage from 2011, credit cards, a Citi card from 1999. That's the one that I could have had open for 22 years if I had just not closed it. But I'm guessing that was an annual fee card that I didn't want to keep up with. And then another mortgage. So those are all of the accounts that Equifax knows about. What else? You guys ready for some Q&A? Synchrony. Synchrony? Is that right? Vernon, I'm going to take your word for it. Synchrony. When you see it in writing, it's wasn't there an album called Synchronicity? Or am I making that up too? I don't know. So it looks like I love seeing these kind of special offers. Suggested for your credits, this Visa card from Pedal. My chance of approval is fair. So that must be a really hard to get card for the 1 to 1.5% cash back and no annual fee. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else of interest in this credit report? And you want to know my strategy to get back up to where I was back in looks like June 10th. I was at 828. Here's what I plan to do. Nothing. It will take care of itself. How? Well, I have all of my cards on auto pay. Right now I'm spending more money than I usually do because of travel and dining out and everything else. You've seen the everything else categories out of control on my cards. Well, that will get more into control. I could also, I have it set up to pay my statement balance automatically. I could set it up to pay the full current balance, which would zero it out every time. Instead of paying the full amount due, you would pay the full amount plus all the charges that would not be due until the next statement closes, if that makes sense. And yes, Arthur, that is a Tesla drink. Arthur helps me edit. He does those YouTube shorts that you've been seeing. Thank you, Arthur. You're awesome. Can't wait to... We're going to talk next week. What else? Oh, do you want to just see what else is on my phone? I mean, that could get dangerous. Yes, I do watch my own YouTube channel. Here's all my emails. I better not go that way because, don't want to expose anyone who's not expecting it. Let's see. What else do we have? That's about it for the Credit Karma. Oh, they also suggest I should get this new Wells Fargo Active Cash card, which, if you want to know my thoughts on that card, I do have a spreadsheet that basically outlines my tracking of all of these cards in semi-real time. I don't update it all the time, but if you go to heythere.tv/cards, you'll be able to see all of the cards and the cards that I'm looking at. I have a very good chance of getting the Wells Fargo card. I will not be getting the Wells Fargo card. This is the replacement for the Propel card, which I actually thought was a way better card. I had Megan get that card, and she's done well with it. So yeah, that's that. What else? Any other ads I need to look at? Oh, I think I started to talk about how you could get the Blockify card, because I got the Blockify card and I got it because of you, and I appreciate all of you using my link, and I can give you that link again. It is blockify.com/DaveCC, as in Dave credit card. If you just go to blockify.com/Dave, you can then open your interest account and you basically get high interest rate on your USD tethered crypto. And the only way to get that is by using someone's referral link. Watch out, Dave. Credit Karma will also suggest you get a Credit One card. Yeah, that's what I think is so funny. Like, I'll get alerts. It's not just Credit Karma. It's also Mint, which is all owned by Intuit. The TurboTax people. I'll get these alerts like, oh, your credit balance, or you need more available credit. Your utilization is getting high on this one credit card. But then they will fill in like it's like a Mad Libs ad that gets posted to you. And so they'll say, you only have $200,000 of available credit left. I don't need that much. I only need that much for them and their system. Okay, it's time now for Q&A. Oh, do you guys like this? Pretty neat, huh? I've tried to up the production game. I know that Orlando's on, and if I don't use the slider, he gets upset with me. So appreciate you for tuning in. And really everybody who showed up today, thank you for joining. I did my very first live stream on this channel. I did it like the day before the 4th of July when I didn't think anyone would be watching. I did it at night, and it had a pretty good response. So I do appreciate you guys. That's the reason that I wanted to do this. Now I am looking, I only have 183 likes on this video so far. I need 1,000 likes, or else I'm not going to do another one of these next week. No, I still might, but I guarantee you I will do one next week if I get 1,000 likes while watching this video. But there's not even 1,000 people watching, so that's going to make that hard. How about if you're watching the replay, smash the like button. Okay, let's. You want to do some Q&A? Let's start out here. Production quality is insane. Thank you. I do what I can. I should probably scroll all the way to the very top so that I do not miss anything. And Orlando. There is Orlando. Let me do this the right way. Orlando with the slider. I beat him. His credit limit is $257,600. Congratulations. It's always it's always fun to play the credit card game. Oh, look at this. Another credit card YouTuber, Mark Reese, is on. 269.9 is one way to keep your utilization low. That is true. That is my main reason for having it. I definitely don't need that much credit, but it is nice to be able to get basically not have that, because I do use my credit cards a lot. Even though I pay them off, it does end up being a high balance a lot of times. So it is nice to be able to keep my percentage low because there is so much available to me. Although I'm not sure exactly what happened, but on my Blockify application, I don't even remember what I put for my income, but I only got approved for a $10,000 balance there. I did immediately call them, and they told me that I can ask for a bigger balance after a certain number of months or something. So I might have to look into that if that really did become my everything else card, because right now, if I look at my, let me just log into Bank of America and see how much I actually owe them real time. And they need to send me a 2-factor authentication. Boom, there we go. Gripping television, I know. So right now on my premium rewards card, I have a $6,697,000 balance. My statement balance last time was $7,303. You can see I spent $1,000 at B&H Photo recently because I'm addicted to making YouTube videos. I do it for you guys. So that's that. All right. What else? Okay, I've made it through 2 comments so far, so this is going to be a long night. Now, I'll do these as quickly as I can, but I do want to be able to address as many as I possibly can. Jay Donaldson saying we need more people sharing good content like this. There's a quote that says, if you hang around with 5 millionaires, you will be the 6th. For some, this is their way of hanging out. Everyone enjoy. That's awesome. That is so, like, part of the reason I like to make these videos is I feel like if you learn by listening and watching YouTube videos, there's so much you can learn on YouTube. And if you're interested in finance, investing, stocks, credit cards, I feel like I've done that, and hopefully I can give you some value. So if you're not yet subscribed, I'm going to push this button again. Yes, you should subscribe, hit the bell, and of course, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I just love that. Okay. I worked on that this morning. Instead of actually researching what I was going to talk about and looking at my credit in advance, I animated that opening sequence, reusing what I had done for a previous video. Hi there, is this including your charge cards too? It is not. So the limits for my American Express Platinum card, which I believe is the only one that is in that charge card category, is not included in those balances, I believe, because there is no limit, right? Let me just look back at Credit Karma and see what they're saying my Amex cards were. If I look at my credit utilization, that should have it. And then look at this. So I have that Amex that is the 34.4. That is the old SPG card. But that is the only Amex that is showing up on here because it is the only Amex that is a credit card compared to a charge card. It's an interesting distinction. Payment history. Do they report it in payment history, don't they? They don't show me any details there. Okay. Maybe they do over at Equifax. Payment history 100. High impact, but they're not showing it. Credit card utilization. So here, there's the American Express that is 34,400, and that is the only American Express that is showing up. So no, that does not include my unlimited balance at American Express, which is a joke to think of an unlimited balance, or unlimited credit limit. There's definitely a limit. I'm sure if I tried to buy a house with that card, they would say no way. Okay, we're getting, I guess I went all the way back to the beginning because we're getting let's goes and highs. So thank you guys for those comments. Wave if you're reading this. Okay, yes. And this is right where I started. I remembered seeing that during the countdown. And let's go into anyone who used a question mark. That's what I'm now looking for as I'm scrolling through. Kevin Park says matte black everything. I prefer matte black everything. I don't have my wallet because obviously I didn't come prepared with bringing a wallet to the thing where I reveal everything in my wallet. That would be, I have my envelope over there that I use as my prop wallet, but I don't have my actual wallet. But I do have a wallet. Do you want to see it? We can talk about that in a minute. If anyone wants to see whatever wallet I have up here, I'll be glad to do it. I'm apparently Mason's hero. Thank you, Mason. Still getting some sups, and lighting is so sick. This is a new lighting setup, by the way. I moved this light. My key light right here used to be over on this side, so my whole face is lit a different way now. But according to all of the cinematographers that I know, you're supposed to light from the back side. And when I had the light on this side, when I had the slider here, which when you're facing this way, it doesn't matter which side the light's on. But if you're shooting this way, the light should be over here. And when I had the light over here, because this slider is basically the light was hanging down in the shot, and so you saw the light. So, a little behind the scenes action for you. Let's see what else we've got. This is so well produced for a one-man live stream. I do what I can. I enjoy it. Yes, I did get the Blockify credit card, blockify.com/DaveCC. Cash back or travel has more value right now. Well, for me, cash back is always better than travel because you're not actually buying the travel right away, and you're still beholden to the bank to maintain the value of the points that you've collected. So far, like Chase has done a good job of letting you redeem for 1.5 back when you have the right card combo, and that's great. But what if tomorrow they said, oh, we're actually only going to let you have 1.1, the way Schwab and Amex did with their member reward points? So that's why you can redeem for cash on the Chase program, and it's not as good as redeeming for travel. So if you're in the Chase program, redeeming for travel is your best bet right now. But if you're trying to decide, do I want to be in Chase? Do I want to be in Bank of America? Do I want to be in Wells Fargo? Where do I want to get my first credit card? I would go for one that is pure cash back, that doesn't have the kind of variable where the bank can decide to devalue points after you've collected a ton. Because if you're saving up to go on a big trip or something, and right when you think you have enough points, they say, just kidding, those points used to be worth a penny and a half each, and now they're worth a half a penny, which is kind of what happened to my thank you points back in the day. They were worth more than a penny a point, and then out of nowhere, they were worth like a half a cent per point. And now, depending on which card combinations you have, they can be worth a penny a point again, maybe more. I've stopped caring about thank you points because no thank you. But thank you, Trevor. Cashback is always what I personally go for, but there are a ton of credit card YouTubers, most of which disagree with me, most of which think that travel is better because you can absolutely squeeze more value out of your credit card if you're willing to take on the risk of those points being devalued and going through hoops and perhaps traveling to somewhere that you wouldn't have traveled normally because you were able to find the best possible usage and buy a $1,000 ticket to a place that you had no interest in going for free, right? But I'd rather use my points for something that I would be buying anyway. And that's kind of my whole thing, is there are easier ways. The easiest thing is just having one card that gives you 2% cash back on everything. And if you're wanting to have the absolute easiest possible system of one card, just make it one of those cards that gives you 2% cash back on everything. But if you're willing to play the game a little bit, but keep it super simple, I have basically two cards that I actively carry. They're both Bank of America cards. One is my everything else card. One is my dining card. And then I have some cards that are just logged in to Amazon. I have the Amazon Prime card for 5%. For travel, I use the American Express Platinum card when booking airfare. You can do that either on their site or directly with the airlines. And then I always check when I'm booking a hotel, I end up having to check 3 different places: the hotel directly, a site like Expedia, or Travelocity, or just, hotels.com, just a site to get a point of reference. Like, is this out of whack? And then I also check AmexTravel.com. And if Amex Travel has the same price as I can get somewhere else, same price or maybe even slightly higher, I know that using the Amex card on the Amex site, I'm going to get 5 times points, which currently is worth 1 1/4 pennies per point redeemed into my Schwab account. That's going to be reduced to 1.1 pennies per point September 1st. So I've got to remember, note to self, hey Siri, remind me the day before September 1st that I need to redeem all of my Amex points. I don't think she... Can you guys hear that? This Siri is plugged in, so you can't hear her, but then I have another Siri back on the shelf that I forgot about, and she was just talking to me. Okay, back to questions and answers. Let's see, we're getting hellos. What's your credit card? Do you know more about Instant Karma payout? So that was an ad that was running in Credit Karma. They have some kind of savings account type product. I don't know that much about it. I've seen the ad. I haven't clicked on it. I'm pretty good at ignoring ads, as I'm sure most people are these days. This would be a perfect time for YouTube to roll an ad that you then hit skip. Um, is living in a high cost area high is living in a high cost of living area when one is middle class or lower a bad idea? If you're middle class and I'm not sure I really understand the question. So maybe if you resend the question, maybe I'll understand it better. But I'll try to answer that. What do you think about the new Bank of America Unlimited Cash Rewards card? So I was excited when I saw that, oh, there's a new cash back card from the bank where I already am basically using their cards almost exclusively. So I like it. It could potentially replace the Premier Rewards card as my everything else card, because basically it's the same. It's 1.5% cash back with the Platinum Honors multiplier, which is 75% multiplier on top of that. It gets you to the 2.625% cash back on everything. The advantage to the new card is there's no annual fee. The old card is a $95 annual fee, but the old card has higher cash back in international. So it doesn't have a rewind that. The old card gives you, I believe it's 2 points, which becomes 3% cash back with Platinum Honors on travel. And because their other card, the red card, the Cash Rewards card, does not have a, let's say, it has the 3% foreign transaction fee. So you can't really use that in restaurants internationally. So I then use the Premier Rewards card in international dining for 3% cash back, and travel that didn't do better on my American Express Platinum card. If you're only going to get 1 point back on Amex because you booked a hotel directly, I would use my Premier Rewards card. And I'm pretty sure the Unlimited Cash card is just 1.5% cash back on everything, with the multiplier getting you up to 2.625. But I think I get 3.5% cash back with the multiplier on the Premier Rewards card in travel and dining. But I don't have my notes on that, so don't quote me on that. I mean, you can quote me, but I might be wrong. What if you prepaid some? Wouldn't that keep the score up? I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I'm not really too worried about my credit score because I'm not actively trying to get a mortgage or trying to open too many credit cards. Although, for whatever reason, I did only get a $10,000 credit limit when I applied for the Blockify card. Hopefully, I'll be able to get that up. Hopefully, they will see that I'm spending right up to my limit and then having to stop spending because I hit my limit, and they'll want to encourage me to keep shopping on their card, even though I'll be paying off the balance in full and I'll be collecting as much Bitcoin as I can. And I literally have switched over to using that card just as a test every time I remember to. So I still have my other cards like stored, I'm not using it for Amazon. Like basically I'm replacing my everything else card with the BlockFi card, or I'm using the BlockFi card in place of my Bank of America everything else card, just to see how it works and see how many Bitcoin I end up getting, and see what the exchange rate is when they purchase that Bitcoin, or they basically are turning that 1.5%, which is actually 3.5% during the intro period, into Bitcoin. I just want to see, if it really does calculate at a reasonable price, and how it all works. Do you think 2% will remain the upper limit for no annual fee everything cashback cards, or will someone try and push that higher? I really think someone's going to try to push it higher. We've seen several cards come out with the 1.5%. We have seen the new Bank of America card is 1.5%, but if you have money with either Bank of America or trade through Merrill Edge, you can easily get that multiplier, and it essentially has become a 2.6 default. cash back for everything. So I think that we will see banks trying to compete, and it really just comes down to how much they'll be able to get away with. Like, you see a lot of cards coming out with brand specific purchases that come out at higher rates. So if you shop at Apple, you get 3%. If you shop at this store, you get 10%. I can't remember which card that is. It's at the M1 Finance card that just came out with their big 10% cash back. But it's like in one super specific category that you're definitely not going to be able to spend that much, like Starbucks or something. And I just, I can't imagine getting 10% cash back on everything, but I think 2% has become, kind of, it's so easy to get that if you wanted to make it work a little bit harder for it, like have a banking relationship with Bank of America or Chase or Citibank or whoever, I would think that would become the new game. Is, can we give a slightly better credit card rewards for people who care about that sort of thing if we foster a bigger, deeper relationship when it comes to banking or investing or whatever it is. But I would love to see like Robinhood, now that they're public. Wouldn't that be cool if they came out with a credit card that paid 3% cash back on everything, 3.5% cash back on everything? Can you imagine just like on everything with no categories, and you don't have to think about it, because categories, that's too confusing. You have to be a full-time credit card nerd to be able to chase the special, I'm getting gas on this card this month, and then I'm going to get movie tickets on this card this month. And it's like, it's too much to think about. I like a simple system that doesn't require too much brain power. I'd rather use my brain power on something else, like investing. But that's a great question. Thank you so much for that. I would love to see 2% become like the floor, and start to see people actually competing on top of that in an everything else no annual fee card. Let's see. Why no mention of the Bank of America credit cards? Well, I think I mentioned Bank of America credit cards more than anyone else. More than anyone else I know. Anyone else on YouTube, I talk about Bank of America because I use those cards almost exclusively. Why are you so inclined to buy Apple products? I love Apple products. There was a point when I used a PC, and I guess my first computer was like an Apple IIc, and it was like this, like had a handle and a giant monitor that you put on top of it, and that was my introduction to computers. But then, like, PCs were so much cheaper, and you could get them faster, and you could do things that were so cool. But then I switched all of my computers to Apple back when the original iPhone came out, and that was such a different, unique experience. Yes, I had used the Mac. We had the Mac with the giant square eraser mouse. That's what we had in school. But I had a PC at home, and I thought, there's no reason I would ever need to go with a Mac. When that iPhone came out, the interface, the experience, everything just being beautiful, and then the App Store, and then all the things that came on top of it, creating a whole ecosystem. I got an iMac within a month of getting the iPhone and have never looked back. So now, just within my site, I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 Apple devices that I can see right now. And here's another video. I got all of my Apple devices for free by investing in Apple stock. Okay, pro tip. Use your statement closing date as your due date so that your cards report 0 and you get the max FICO score, if that's important to you. It's not super important to me. It's more just a game. Much like I try to play credit cards like a game, I think playing your credit score like a game is kind of fun. So, Orlando, I'm going to do that. I'm going to figure out my closing dates and what is the pro tip? Use your statement closing date as your due date so your cards report 0. I'm pretty sure I do that. I have it set up to just auto pay on the due date, but I should do that on the closing date. Okay, this is going to require some time and some thought. Just watch my credit score skyrocket. Okay. Do you own crypto cards? Yes, the Blockify card. I think Dave is pretty high on the Blockify list, if I can remember correctly. So I was, no, I was not high at all. I was like, there were 300,000 plus people in front of me for the Blockify card, but I got it because when you tell people your referral code, that pushes you up the list. And I told people my referral code in a video. So, bada ba ba. Okay. Thank you for that. Timmy? Bada ba ba. You could probably just write random things and I'll say them in these comments. I'm still so far back in these. You wonder why my live streams go on for so long. It's because I try to answer every single one. I'm probably going to have to cut all of this out for the replay because YouTube doesn't like long videos that just have a dude reading from his computer screen. Yeah, so I do already have a video about my Blockify card, but you should, if you haven't seen that, you should definitely go watch that. This is back when I was asking if I'm too nerdy with my credit cards. Thank you for that. That's how far back I am. Just got the Chase Ink Unlimited card last week. Congrats on that. That's actually a good card because I can't remember why, but there's some if there's some category that if you earn more points there, and if you have the platinum card from Schwab, you get the higher redemption rate, and that is the best I could find in that category. Let's see. I'm now just going to try to scan through and look for question marks. Thoughts on Amex Bonvoy Business versus Bonvoy Brilliant. So that requires a lot of like spreadsheeting and side-by-side comparison. The Bonvoy, I actually haven't even looked into the business version, but there's so many different Bonvoy cards that finding the right one really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. I am more into cash back than collecting Bonvoy points. There was a time when I had a ton of SPG points. I think those converted, and I still have around 1 million Bonvoy points. Let's see if I can pull that up while we're on the subject. But the name of the app is Marriott and not Bonvoy, which is always confusing when I'm searching for it. But let's log in here. So yes, I have 963,857 Bonvoy points because back in the day I used to collect those. Back when they were affectionately known as SPG points, Starwood points. Let's see. Information is from my FICO as well. Okay, we're going quicker search, trying to find question marks now. Oh, this is an important comment. The per card utilization should also be kept low as that impacts the credit score as well. So I was talking about how my overall credit utilization is low, relatively low, 7% right now. But on a single card, I had more than 50% utilized because, they gave me a $30,000 limit and I had gotten up to $15,000. And that is true. That is something that I'm, if I were trying to keep my score as high as possible, I would try to get the credit limit increased on the cards that I'm using the most so that I wouldn't have to worry about that. Who here likes rats from the Rat Review? I don't even know what that is or means, but sounds like an interesting YouTube channel. Let's see. So Evan Walker's saying, I got denied for the Blockify card because the credit history is too low, but my score is 700. I'm wondering if the credit history is, maybe you don't have a long enough credit history or something. But I think that card does actually require good credit when they're looking. But I would think that you would be able to get approved. Thanks for making great videos and also not talking down on low-income people like a certain YouTuber. Also agree with your no annual fee philosophy. No, I would never talk down to low-income people, and I think that low-income people are the people who have the most upside by spending time and effort on improving their financial situation, right? Like, for me to have a dramatic shift in my income would take a lot, but if you can make small changes when you're in a lower income situation, I think that you can have a dramatic impact. And just doing the little things can really pay off. Let's see. Back down. We're now back talking about the Uber card. When I was asking if I should close it, people are saying I should close it. People are saying I should not close it. Why close available credit? Swipe it for something and keep it open. I wonder if there actually is something that I could switch it to in the Barclays family, because I'm really not going to use the Uber ever since they destroyed what was for a very brief period my absolute favorite credit card. Close the Uber card and get the Chase Inc. cash. I'm not really playing for the Chase points, but the Chase Inc. cash could be one, but I don't know that it would actually beat any of. I'll look into that, but I don't think it would beat my current system. Are you recommending the new Bank of America Unlimited Cash Rewards card? Yes, I would recommend that. I actually would not. I probably would not have gotten the Premier Rewards card if the Unlimited Cash card were available. I don't think. I think that you're getting the same everything else earning. If you have a bank balance with Bank of America, you can get that 2.625% cash back on either card. And I think that I was a little hesitant to start paying another $95 annual fee for something that I wasn't sure if it would be worth it. I did the math and saw that the difference would actually be worth it to be able to get. I knew I could get 2% cash back, but to get 2.625, that extra 0.625 in my spending in everything else, more than paid for the annual fee. And at the time they were giving, I believe it was like a $500 or a $600 or $700 signing bonus, basically, if you spend whatever the amount was within the amount of time. And I knew that I'd be able to hit that. And essentially it made that card, it paid for the annual fee for 6 years, say. If it was a $600 thing, it paid for it for 6 years. And they also have the airline credit, which when I can remember to use the airline credit, that kind of, it plays with your mind and makes you think you're getting value for it. But I try not to put any credit into that, into those airline credits and that sort of thing. But I knew that purely based on my spending, the extra 0.625 for me would more than pay for the $95 annual fee and that signing bonus, even if I didn't quite pay for the annual fee, and I was way over, but even if I was close, it would make sense. But had the unlimited cash card been available with the 1.5% cash back on everything, if that had been available back when I was deciding which card to get for my everything else card, I think that would be my everything else card. Probably, I'm gonna have to do some more math and see if there are any benefits that still make sense. I think that the main thing that I would probably continue to use is the Premier Rewards cards. They give more in travel, and it's my backup travel card. When I'm not going to be able to get 5 points on Amex, I use my Bank of America card for 3.5% on travel, and it's also good because it doesn't have the foreign transaction fee. But yes, I would recommend that as my everything else card. Wouldn't be here if it weren't interesting. Well, I'm glad that you're finding this interesting, and let me know what you want me to cover in my next live stream. We've been on for more than an hour now. I'm going to try to get through as many comments as I possibly can, specifically now looking for question marks. Close my Uber card out of spite, but I kind of regret it. I think it lowered my score because the closed account would be could be for a bad reason. I think if you close your account and you'd never missed a payment, you'd always paid on time, you didn't have any kind of derogatory marks, I think the only thing that would be negative is it reduces your available credits, so your utilization overall might go up, and if your average age of credit would be affected. But I don't think that just closing it, having it in that closed list, I don't think would have any impact. Yes, I did get the Blockify card. Let's see, thought stayed for 10 years after closing. Yeah, so everything basically stays on your credit report for 10 years. And some things fall off. Some things just didn't ever get reported to all the bureaus. There's a difference between what TransUnion and Equifax know. And Experian, basically every app and credit card gives you access to one of those systems. And I actually think I did kind of look at which ones. So Credit Karma has both TransUnion and Equifax, and they're using the Vantage scoring system. But if you use the Chase app or the American Express app, they both give you Experian. But Chase uses Vantage, and Amex uses the FICO, and they're using Score 8, which came out in 2004. They actually have Score 9, which came out in 2014, but most people are still using Score 8. It's like this weird world where, there's two competing companies that are trying to rate your credit, and Vantage adjusted their system back in 2013 to make the 3.0 version of their formula, but they're now up to 4.0, and that came out years ago, back in 2017, but everyone is still reporting the Vantage 3 score. So you can get the Vantage 3 out of Chase, or using Experian data, get the FICO out of Amex. The Citibank app uses Equifax and the FICO Score 8. Bank of America uses TransUnion and the FICO Score 8. And this is just what they show you. They'll give you your free credit report in the app. You get to see your free credit score, and this is what they're using. It's not necessarily what they use when they're running your credit or doing a hard pull when you're applying for a credit card. But yeah, Bank of America uses TransUnion. Barclays uses TransUnion as well. I couldn't tell if that was FICO or Vantage. But basically, every app gives you access to that. And I used Credit Karma for the demonstration because they didn't show all my personal information on the screen. Have I been using the X1 card at all? No, I still haven't received the X1 card. I'm still waiting for the X1 card. The only one I have is my fake X1 card that's sitting back on my shelf. But hopefully their website says that it should be coming soon, and I believe I'm either number 1 or number 2 on the list. I keep getting emails that I'm like, there's someone else out there who is also referring people to the card, and I keep bouncing around being either number 1 or number 2 to get that card. So if they have started sending it, it's to some kind of closed beta list and not their actual waiting list, because I haven't received it, and I should be one of the very first people to receive the actual X1 card when that comes out. Frosty R&B 77 says he or she, I can't tell in the picture because my eyesight isn't good enough. I plan on closing 2 cards which have no annual fee: Uber Visa and Amex Blue Cash every day, because the redemption sucks. Okay, well, yeah, I totally get the Uber Visa and the Blue Cash every day. That's one that I stopped tracking because it was so, it just didn't really compete with some of the other cashback cards out there. Okay, so Daniel's saying that the credit reporting agencies always see a closed line as negative. Same with paying off a loan. Your score drops because the line was closed, which that makes sense. A revolving credit line or a car loan or whatever was closed, but I mean, at some point you have to pay off one and presumably start another. I don't know. I wonder how that. It would be really interesting to know how that actually affects it. You know, you get anecdotal stories of what's happening, but I paid off my vehicle, just bought it outright because the I had a 3-year lease. It's a Range Rover, and the price of the vehicle that I could buy it for, buying out the rest of the lease, was less than the trade-in value because car prices are so high right now. So it would have been crazy for me not to just buy out the lease, even if I went and immediately turned the car in as a trade-in. But it's still a good car. It's only 3 years old. I'm going to keep driving it probably for forever. Yeah, Orlando's also still waiting for the X1 card to be released. Sean says, closing your new account will not make the age of your credit go back up. Who told you that? Closing your new account, I would think that the average age of your credit would have to go up because if you close it, it no longer is being averaged in, right? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Any business cards? I basically make 90% of my purchases on business credit. I literally only had one business card back decades ago. It's still on my credit report. It's only a $4,500 limit. And then I also, not showing up in my credit because it's an American Express card. One of my businesses, I have a gold card that's a part of the business. But that's not... I guess that doesn't show up because it's a charge card. I could transfer the Uber credit card to another card you mainly use for the 56% utilization to lower and bump in credit line. Yeah. I just don't know that there's anything at Barclays currently that I would actually want. I know that they have, like, if I were trying to get, 3% or 4% cash back on gas. They have an AARP card at Barclays that seemed to be one of the higher gas cards, but I don't drive much. Do you have any other debt accounts on your credit or just trade lines? So yeah, I showed you everything that I have. I've basically closed all of my other debt. I no longer have a mortgage and I no longer have a car payment. I wish Visa would allow paying for a mortgage with your card for a very small fee so that you can accumulate Bitcoin by spending money on something that you have to have anyway. Yeah, I mean, if it weren't for, all of the cards not wanting you to be able to earn rewards on cash-like transactions, that would be great, but it's too cash-like. So I understand why they're not doing it because the interchange rate for something that goes to be cash doesn't give them the margin they need to be able to give you points. Thoughts on the Discover It card? Just starting out my credit, just starting to get my credit turning around. Yeah, so the Discover It, they have a good program of cards, a lot of cashback cards within the lineup. It's not something that I've spent that much time looking at, but I did include it in my spreadsheet. If you go to heythere.tv/cards, you get all of my my breakdown on that, and it's just a spreadsheet. So, and I update it whenever I see a change, but it's not like a fancy wizard where you go in and figure out what's best for you. But I do, if you look at it, it does like calculate for cash back or what is the best category to spend it in, and there's like a color coded thing where you look, it's like a heat map where you can just like glance at it and go, oh, that one's a darker shade of green, so that's the best one in that category. So I had fun making that. If an account is in good standing, then it continues to age until the 10 10th year mark, it makes sense to close an account if it's one of the newer accounts. So it continues to age until the 10th year mark. Okay, so anything, I could close an account, but if I close it and then it continues to age even up to the 10th year mark, then it drops off. By then, it's going to be a super old card, and you'd probably want to keep it open. So I'm going to have to do some internet research. I might have to do some Googling to see what I really want to do there. What else do we've got? I'm now just scanning here for question marks. Not sure if you covered it, but what is your opinion on the X1 card? My opinion is, if you basically can get 4% cash back, it could be an amazing card. I'm still waiting to see it, though. So I'll let you know as soon as I know for sure if that card is going to be released. Scanning here for question marks, everybody. Such an active chat. Let me actually see if I can search for a question mark and just go to. I'm just going to now start from the bottom and go up. So hopefully I didn't just skip over your question, but I'm now looking for questions. Do you know how American Express Platinum card works with Delta Medallion? Wife and I are both Delta frequent flyers. Can you split the benefit between Delta frequent flyer accounts? I do not know. Would I hold a class on editing? Yeah, I would do that. Let's see. How many cards total? Did we ever figure out how many cards total I have? Because I know that I actually only use 2 in my wallet. Not 3 now that I have the Blockify in there. But I have Bank of America, Blockify, and Amex Platinum, which I'm carrying with me temporarily because I've been traveling so much, and you never know. When you check into a hotel, maybe you're going to need to show it. What else? And that's it. 4 cards plus Apple, Amazon, and that's it. Is that it? I think that's it. Thoughts on the Robinhood card? Yeah, so I talked about Robinhood earlier. I would love for Robinhood to come out with a cash back card. I know they have their cash management account. Do they have an actual credit card now? Or is it a spend, invest, earn interest, your daily money needs, free ATMs, earn 0.3% APY, no hidden fees? Yeah, that just doesn't sound interesting to me. I love Robinhood, but I haven't seen any credit card product from Robinhood that interests me. Do you ever carry a debit card? Good question. I do carry a debit card. I carry it for when I need cash, generally when I'm traveling, and it's the Bank of America card that is tied to my primary checking account. I would never do a cash advance on a credit card because the fees are redonkulous. But yeah, so I use my Bank of America debit card that's tied to the account that has enough cash in it to get me the preferred honors level with their credit card program. Do you invest in altcoins? No, I'm like pretty much exclusively Bitcoin and Ethereum. I did have a nice portfolio of random altcoins at one point, but at this point I've just simplified everything, and I might have some random, I don't know, Bitcoin Cash or things that have spun off into other things, but I focus on Bitcoin, Ethereum. I had some like Ethereum Classic at one point. That's about it. What if you had the Amex Gold and got 4x points for dining and grocery, then redeemed them for 1.1 to Schwab? So, my understanding is you can't do that. I think if you could do that, everybody would do that. I think I would have to ask Sebi that question, because I did talk to him about that, because I had the same brilliant idea, and he's like, no, I'm pretty sure that you can't do that, because everyone would do that, right? Do you think the Gemini card will be better than the Blockify card? So I haven't really looked into the Gemini card because I don't have a Gemini account. Let's see what their card offering is real quick. Products, active trader, Gemini Pay, would that be it? Gemini credit card, up to 3% crypto rewards on every purchase. Okay, so I'm immediately skeptical when I hear up to on every purchase, because up to and every don't really go together. Real-time rewards in Bitcoin or crypto on Gemini. I don't have a screen sharing set up where I would share this with you. It does look like a neat looking card. They do have a waiting list. So it's 3% on dining, which I beat that by more than double in my program. 2% on groceries, which I don't spend enough in, but I think I'm getting at least that, and then 1% on all other purchases. So no, just with my initial research on this, and there may be some multiplier or something that I don't know about, their cash back is not as good as what I'm getting in cash, and their Bitcoin back is not as good as what I am getting through BlockFi, because they're 1% on all purchases. BlockFi gives you 1.5 on all purchases, and their best category of dining, if you're trying to maximize dining, there are better ways to do it, from the gold Amex card to the Bank of America cash rewards card, where you select dining as your category and you get the 75% multiplier, and you end up with 6.25% cash back. Okay. Thank you for that question, though. That was a good question. Robinhood IPO thoughts. We did a whole live stream about the Robinhood IPO over on Dumb Money Live, so youtube.com/dumbmoneylive. That's where I gave all of my thoughts. I am a Robinhood shareholder. I did not buy more at the IPO, but I already had a substantial investment in Robinhood, and you'll just have to watch the video to see what I decided to do with my shares. No, I'll tell you guys, because you're the best. You're my best friends. You decided to stick around for this longer than usual live stream. We're coming up on an hour and a half, which I think should be the limit. And for the replay, I'm definitely going to edit this down to something more manageable, because I don't know that I would want to watch an hour and a half of me talking. And if I'm not going to watch it, I appreciate you guys all sticking around, though. So the question on the Robinhood IPO, if you can watch all 45 minutes of that live stream, but I will just summarize for you that I am holding my Robinhood shares primarily because I see Robinhood as a revolutionary change in the way people invest. They've brought millions of new investors to the stock market that would have never thought about investing. They changed the whole industry, made everything free, where we were paying $14 a trade. And if you think back to 10 years ago, you're paying $100, $200 a trade. I also think that they have a kind of, they have kind of an uphill battle, because they have had such like dramatic growth. But I think they are well positioned to do it. They have so many new investors. And I just think that from an interface standpoint and a usability standpoint, I reach for the Robinhood app more often than the Schwab app, where I have all of my money, because Robinhood's app is easier to manage your lists of what you're watching, easier to see when earnings are coming out. I feel like the other apps are just so bogged down and clunky and just old school. Yes, they could all update their apps and come out with a better investing experience. But for me, Robinhood has so much potential with all of these accounts. A lot of these new investors with not much money in their account today will be, they're now the new investing class. And for the next 10 years, 20 years, they're just, I don't see a lot of attrition. Even though Robinhood has had a lot of missteps along the way. I mean, from technical glitches to infinite money glitches to trading just not working on the most heavily trafficked day of stock trading. Yeah, a lot of embarrassment in Robinhood, but they've somehow not only recovered from that, but they continue to sign up new customers faster than anyone. And I just see that those customers will continue to be the future investors. And as their accounts grow from, $100 today to $1,000 next year to $10,000, as all of these new accounts grow and mature, I don't see them leaving Robinhood. But maybe they would. But I'm holding on to my stock. Which annual fee cards do you find worth it right now, if any? So I'm paying, I believe, for 3, the Amex Platinum, which I did an extensive review of why that one makes sense for me. It definitely doesn't make sense for everyone, but I'm still getting value even with the new raised annual fee. And then my other 2 annual fee cards are low annual fees. They're $95 each. One is the Bank of America Premier Rewards Card, Premier. One of the important sounding words, and that's $95, and I basically use that as my everything else card. And then the other one is a Bonvoy card. I believe it's the Amex Bonvoy. Has a nice little artwork on it, like buildings. It used to be the purple SPG card, and I continue to pay that annual fee for. I guess I get value out of it when I remember to use the free night, and it's just one of those cards that I've had for forever, and I don't know. There's not, I guess I don't have a great reason for keeping it, because I don't think, I get the free night, and the free night is worth, more than $95 when you remember to use it, but those are the ones. Those are the 2. Do you think the Amex Gold is worth it simply for the 4x points on grocery store purchases? That all comes down to, you're going to have to do a spreadsheet. How much do you spend on grocery store and or restaurant dining? And making up that annual fee takes a lot of spending for it to even break even. So that's the main argument against annual fee cards is if you're paying an annual fee just for the added rewards for an earning rate, you can get 4% cash back on free cards, right? In the restaurant category. In the grocery category, that seems to be a category that everyone is trying to give you slightly better. I think the Bank of America Cash Rewards card has a default of 2%, and then that gets multiplied, so it's like a 3.5% cash back. Don't quote me on that, but there's other ways to do it without paying that big annual fee. So basically, you have to figure out what is the free version that might get me close to 4%, and then how much money do I have to pay, spend in that category for it to pay for the $250. I did a whole video on that probably a year and a half ago. It's a really in-depth look at it. I highly recommend you check out that video. And if I can even remember, I don't even remember what the thumbnail was, because I don't. Was it when they killed Uber? The Uber Visa card? It might have been. Where's my my videos? It was a while ago. It might have been. Oh, it's this one. The best cards for travel, no annual fee versus high annual fee. And I think that this is the one. That is not the one. YouTube makes you label your videos with like these catchy names and thumbnails that don't really tell you what the video is, because, would you click on it if I just said an in-depth comparison of cash back annual fee cards? Probably you wouldn't click on it. How I beat the banks, that was not it. It might have been this. This is the one I thought it was. Is it this one? Oh, this is it. This is it. Okay. So basically, you can see here, this is like a line graph where I show you how much, based on your spending, how much you would earn back at various spend levels. And you can see when the line starts below 0, that's you paying an annual fee and how much it takes to get back so that it would make as much cash back as the free version. So it's called Uber Card Changes Best Alternative Card for Restaurants. So that's actually a pretty good title for your specific use case of trying to figure out what you should use in restaurants. What's going on here? Oh, yeah, my computer got stuck. All right, what else do we got? New videos coming. I like the shorts. They are fast. Thank you. I was kind of curious about shorts and TikTok, and it seems like attention spans to watch what is now an hour and a half video on YouTube is, you're probably, occasionally you'll watch a long video, but 8 minutes is a long time. 12 minutes is a longer time. If I can get some information across in 12 seconds, I believe YouTube is saying 15 seconds is how long they want the shorts to be, because people have like a 2-second attention span as they're scrolling. I'm sure you've spent time on TikTok, and you do it. You just keep scrolling until something catches your eye in the first second and a half or less. And yeah, so I'm going to keep making shorts, and hopefully there's something in this live stream that can be turned into a short. But hopefully I can still provide value. That's what it comes down to. Having not only just, short content for the sake of having short content, but something that summarizes me explaining something in a long-winded way and then taking out all of the ums and pauses and thinking and not knowing what I'm talking about and giving it to you in a concise format that when you see it come up in your news feed, you might click on it, knowing that it's gonna take 30 seconds out of your life versus the commitment of watching one of my 12-minute videos. So I'm interested in seeing how those do, and if they work out, that's great. Blockify card is 3% for the first 90 days. It's 3.5% for the first 90 days, up to $100. So that's $5,000 of spend. So if you, so it does cap out on $100 worth of Bitcoin, and it does go to 1.5% for everything until you spent $50,000, and then every amount over $50,000 is 2%. So that is how the Blockify card works. I'm trying it out. I'm trying to use it in place of my everything else card for now to see. I just want to see how it works. I want to see firsthand my points being collected and turned into Bitcoin. And let's see. I have not logged into the app to actually check on my status so far to see how many Bitcoin I've received. Here is my account, and I have a $909 balance, and it looks like I have 3,182 Bitcoin rewards. It looks like they have not yet converted those into Bitcoin. As far as I can tell. And then, yeah, here's my recent transactions. So yeah, there you go. But that's my active account. Okay, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom just so I can see any last comments that are coming in before we sign off, because you guys have stuck around till the very end, and I was answering questions from a long time ago, and those people may have dropped off, but you are still here. So what I'm going to do is just scroll from the bottom and see, what do you think of the Venmo credit card? It's basically a cashback card, but it's not quite as good as the other ones. As far as I remember, it's less than 2%. I should probably look that up. you wonder why everything takes me so long, and why these videos are so long, and why when I make a video, why I don't make that many videos is because every single time I make a video, I have to look things up. So the Venmo card is saying up to 6% cash back, but once again, anytime I hear up to, I get suspicious and have to start reading more in depth. Double up your rewards with a special bonus now through December 31st. Earn 6% cash back on your top spend category. So everybody loves the top spend category thing, and if you were to like use these offers, you know, Citibank has the new one that's 5% on your top spend category that automatically adjusts. So if you just use it in one category and you know it's a category that you'll spend up to their threshold and not go over and lose out, then that's a good deal. Then 4% on your next, and then 2% on all other purchases. So 2% on all purchases is a good floor, and if they're giving 4% automatically and 6% automatically in top categories, they do say that is just through December 31st. I don't know what happens after December 31st. Oh, it looks like it reverts back to their normal, instead of 6%, 3%. So like your top category would only get 3%, your second top would get 2%, and then everything else is 1%. That's why I was thinking that card was not one that I was interested in, just because this is a limited time initial offer. And I'm just trying to see if I can quickly see what the limits are in those categories, because I imagine that there are limits. Yeah, the intro offer is actually pretty good. I don't know what the limits are, but that is an interesting card to look into more. Just looking for the word limit. Reduce your credit limit, offer limited to one per person. Yeah, the rewards program terms probably have some additional language in there that would limit that 6% even more, but it's interesting. What are your thoughts on the Coinbase? So all of these, like, what are your thoughts on the Coinbase card or the M1 card? The M1 card, I did just, research a little bit, and it sounds great, up to 10% cash back, but up to is the danger word. When you hear up to anything, it means that's the best, but what are you going to get? And it's basically like if you get 10% back on Starbucks. Okay, if you spend a lot at Starbucks, that's great, and I'm sure there's a limit there as well. If for in-depth reviews of each of these cards, I would need to just look more into it. But I haven't seen any that I've been excited to apply for. Blockify was the first one that I was excited to apply for, primarily because 1.5% cashback is not great, and I've told them that. They're working. They're probably going to try to find some categories that they can go a little bit higher. But I think the interesting thing is dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, because unlike all the other credit card points that lose value over time, these are the ones that could gain or lose, and might do so in a dramatic fashion. So if you're just like having fun with your credit card points, using other people's money that you could take as 2% cash back or 5-6% cash back, depending on how you did it. But investing that directly into Bitcoin, kind of interesting. Of course, you could definitely do the same thing and just like work out a system where I know that I'm spending about this much, and this is my approximate earnings per month in cash back, and I'm just going to auto invest that amount into Bitcoin. And you could totally just create your own system, and you'd actually come out ahead, because instead of earning 1.5%, you could earn at all of your normal rates. And then I think it would take too much time and energy to actually calculate each transaction and do it exactly. But I could see taking my entire cash back from last year and dividing that by 12 and systematically investing that much every month into Bitcoin. And that would be an interesting way to mimic a Bitcoin credit card. And what spend do you put on your Bank of America premium card? That's literally everything else. Anything that doesn't have a category that's basically dining or travel goes on the other, my Bank of America card. And now it's going on my Blockify card. What trading platform do you use, and what is your margin rate? So I'm currently, I do use Robinhood as my fun account. That's where I'm invested in AMC, and I have AMC options that I keep writing against the shares that I own, and my average cost is, I think, negative by now because I keep doing that. But then my primary brokerage is Schwab. I switched from TD Ameritrade to Schwab before the acquisition, and Schwab paid me, I think, $5,000 to switch over. And so, yeah, I use Schwab. And I don't really like their app. I don't really like their trading platform. It's okay. It's, I guess, reliable, and it didn't go down like Robinhood did on the most active trading day of the year. But there's nothing exciting about it, and it's clunky. And when I am trying to just quickly get a quote, I'm going to pull up the Robinhood app because it's more responsive and I like it better. I have not tried M1. I do have a Webull account. I do not have 2 free stocks in the description, but I think I have a public referral link. If you go to davehansen.com, I have a referral links section. If you are just like loving signing up for things that are referral link based, you get free stocks and free Bitcoin. I only have the referral links that give you something for free, and I listed them on davehansen.com. Every credit card application is a hit on your credit. How many have you had at a given time? I just got approved for another one with 14 hits. So I don't apply for that many credit cards. I intentionally only apply for a credit card at this point that I think I'm going to actually use, because I have so many older cards that are just sitting there in my account that I'm not using, but they're still active accounts. So I literally have applied for Bank of America a little over a year ago, and American Express Platinum after that. And prior to that, I hadn't applied for a card in a long time. I think probably the Uber Visa was the one most recent before that. But yeah, for me, there's no reason to just, I'm not a credit card churner. I'm not playing the how can I maximize every last point and take advantage of every sign-up bonus. I look for a sign-up bonus if it's a card that I think I want anyway. One of those keeper cards, one of those cards that you are going to actually use and not just try to burn for their sign-up bonus. But that's just me. I'm trying to think, like, the sign-up bonuses are good. The $95 annual fee premium rewards card from Bank of America, that paid for the card for years in my mind, and it was giving me enough of a boost in my earning rate that it made sense to pay the fee anyway. So that's a card that, that made sense for me. The Platinum card made sense for me, but it took a lot of math, and it took a long time for me to actually decide that made sense, because I needed to make sure that I was actually going to benefit and use the things without having to buy additional things in my life that I wouldn't have bought otherwise. So I basically decided the platinum card from American Express had that tipping point for me when I was no longer enjoying the American Airlines Admirals Club lounges, and I knew I needed a card that could get me into at least the Priority Pass lounges, but I would prefer the Centurion Lounge. And dropping the $450 Amex card, or $450 Citibank card from American Airlines, and then picking up the Platinum card for, it was like $100 more annual fee, but all of the other things that I actually got benefit from And because I had a high enough balance at Schwab, I got the $200 customer appreciation credit every year. It made sense for me. I think most people who have that card, it does not make sense for. They have not done the math. They just think it makes sense because they read, oh, yeah, well, I'm getting I'm getting like $500 of credit for Equinox. But did you already have an Equinox account, or did you go sign up for one, or did you even bother using that credit? So if you're not going to use the credit, it doesn't count. I don't count the Saks credit that they give me, even though I have intentionally gone on just to get the credit, but I don't count that towards, like, does this card make sense to me? So the things that do make sense to me, I give $25 of value to the TSA pre-check because it's only once every 4 years that you get a $100 benefit. I did a whole video that outlines exactly what things in that card made sense for me. What could Robinhood do to grow besides more accounts? Are they just going to be a bank? I think Robinhood has a lot of room to grow as a brokerage. Right now, they have they've had a massive number of new accounts opened, but those accounts are relatively low value. Over time, I see those accounts growing in value. And if they grow, if Robinhood was able to get even close to where the average account balance at Schwab and Fidelity are, Robinhood would be probably the best investment in my portfolio. And so that's why I'm not selling. Even though I think it's high risk, it's not something that I would put a ton of money into, but the fact that I've already made money because I bought pre-IPO, I think it has room to go up from here. And I'm losing my voice. I think that should be it, right? One more question. How do you feel about aggressive manufactured spending to rack up cash back? That is a good one to end it on. I don't like aggressive manufactured spending at all. I think that if you should only get cash back for things that you would be buying anyway. If you're intentionally like gaming the credit card and buying things, is your manufactured spending, are you going to buy that and then resell it? That just seems like a lot of work. Is your time worth it to you? Maybe it is, but for me, it's not. And there are ways that you can maximize your cash back without having to gamify the system. And for me, it's all about finding the right cards for the situation that you'd actually want to use, and then taking advantage of a sign-up bonus that makes sense. But no, I'm not applying for 10 credit cards a year to try to get an extra $1,000 here and $1,000 there, because that's a lot of manufactured spending. It's not something that it's not worth my time. But that's just me. Tell me what you think. If you're watching the replay, drop a comment. If you guys are still in the live chat, I'm gonna stick around and watch all of watch your chats. I might even type some responses in. So thank you guys so much for watching. That is the latest from here. I hope to see you back there for the next Hey There, Dave here. Graphics work. Here's a video you should watch.